Welcome to Mindfulness-Based Cancer Survivorship Session 3. So we've told you about where this came from. We've told you that this is a free healing modality if you can adapt it to your life. So this is Session 3. Judy talked to you about breathing and how important it is to breathe into your belly. And it's important also to realize that that exhale breath is your vital breath, because that is your relaxation breath. So even if it's uncomfortable to breathe into your belly, just pay attention to how you're breathing and make sure you exhale and get rid of all those toxins that are in there. So again, welcome to Session 3. What we want to share with you is the fact that there are other aspects to mindfulness. And Jon Kabat-Zinn discussed attitudes, that if you can adopt them into your life and make them part of who you are, your life will be much more peaceful. We talked about the whole thing with the thoughts that you have, being part of that peaceful, calm life that you want, and how your thoughts can take you from there. Well, Jon Kabat-Zinn has talked about 9 attitudes that are very critical to looking at in our life and in the way we walk through the world to be recognized and dealt with if we are to be able to be calm. Okay? So what we're going to do today is just look at 3 of those attitudes. He has 9. We're going to look at 3. And we talked about Jon Kabat-Zinn, as I said, being from the University of Massachusetts and having this mindfulness-based stress reduction program. The 9 attitudes we will explore with you, but the first 3 that I want to share with you are non-judgment, patience, and a beginner's mind. So you say to yourself, non-judgment, I can't be non-judging. We live our lives being very judgmental. In fact, sadly, we come to our adulthood with all the judgments that were placed on us as children, that we placed on ourselves as a result of our upbringing. Our judgments are our shoulds and oughts that we were raised with. So what we need to do with non-judgment is look at ourselves and our thoughts non-judgmentally. We have to become the impartial observer to what is going on without labeling. And interestingly, labeling positively is just as judgmental as labeling negatively. Think about it. If I judge myself as coming up short, or as, let's say, stupid, or I did something bad, that is one thing, and it creates one set of kind of reactions within my physical body, of certainly somewhat of a stress response. If I judge myself as good and better than, maybe that is an uplifting response in my body, but it also sets me up at another point to be less than. So judgment is something that we have to be aware of, that we are doing constantly. We are doing it on the positive and the negative. We are doing it on the positive and negative for ourselves, for others, and for our thoughts. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we didn't have to categorize or label anything as any way, one way or the other? It's just simply what it is. Studies show that we can heal much faster when we love ourselves unconditionally. It's as if we are giving ourselves constantly the loving, healing enzymes and neurotransmitters and chemicals into our body that heals us. So when we can continue to do that by being non-judgmental, we are setting ourselves up to be healing constantly, being unconditional with ourselves, being unconditional with others. That is a loving, healing place to be in the present moment. Negative self-talk, like I just said, boy, was I stupid. I can remember when I played tennis, that was a stupid thing to do. What it did was kind of set me up for the next time. I would probably do the same thing again. Rather than something more uplifting, oh, I just learned from that. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to learn and go forward. Rather than being judgmental. I keep messing up. No, I'm just learning. Okay? I should have. Why didn't I? I ought to. No. It is what it is. I'm going to learn and I'm going to go forward. It just is. We don't judge it. And then when we don't judge it, we don't feel that internal stress that comes from the judgments. Okay? So we have other judgments. Like I said before, I can have these positive judgments. I'm better than her. Do I really want to do that? Because someday I'm going to be less than her. Okay? So he looks a certain way, she looks a certain way, they're too fat, they're too skinny. Those are all judgments. And we walk through our lives with them. So what's interesting with mindfulness, it's going to be a challenge to start looking on a minute-to-minute, day-by-day basis to the ways that we judge ourselves, to the way that we judge others, and to how those judgments affect your body and how those judgments affect your living in the present moment. And if we can now take ourselves out of judging, being aware that the moments that we catch ourselves being judging and are able to take ourselves out of judgment, seeing how our body seems to shift to a more relaxed place. So, non-judgment is one of the first attitudes of being truly mindful and being able to walk in the world. No longer are we setting ourselves up with the internal stressors of judgment, because that decreases our ability to heal. Those stressors are those things that create the negative chemicals in our body that prevent healing. So, when we see our negative thoughts, when we see our judgmental thoughts, we need to just change those to loving thoughts, accepting thoughts. The second one of Kabat-Zinn's attitudes is patience. One of my faves, actually, because I've kind of walked with challenging myself to be patient my whole life. So, patience is really the ability to just allow events to occur as they're going to occur, to allow things to be just what they are, to refrain from instant pain relief or instant gratification. We might want pleasure right now. We're kind of sadly in a society that expects the quick fix. Let's get done yesterday. Patience. Patience is where healing can occur. Patience is where you can, if you even say the word patience, and then take that into yourself right now and breathe. Patience. Doesn't that help your body to even feel somewhat more relaxed? And you can be much more fully in the moment with your patience. Learning to take things one step at a time. Learning to appreciate each moment and to cherish the moment that is right now. We're not knowing what, like we said, that first moment that we met, that we aren't necessarily knowing what the moments are going to be next week. But we know right now what this moment is. And if I breathe, and if I exhale, I can experience calm and peace in my body. That's the moment we need to feel right now. That's the patience to accept what's going to happen, to accept what has happened, and to just be in this moment in my life and let it unfold at its own pace. As I said, quick fix is so against that. You turn on the television, everything is, we need this now, we should have had that, here's your pill for this. We need to be aware that we have been socialized, sadly, to expect things to come yesterday, to expect that we should be able to control things that we don't like. Well, maybe not. Maybe we just need to let the body heal. Maybe we just need to let things unfold as we get the body in the state that it can heal. We allow it to relax. We exhale. We're patient. We say, okay, body, take over. Go ahead and heal. I love you. This is what I want for you. Go ahead and heal. So with patience, you're beginning to allow the natural processes of your body to take over. You're rather than doing something to fix your body, you're just allowing. You're just allowing what is, and you're patient enough. You have enough patience. You're patient enough to wait for the outcome. That's one of the problems that we, Judy and I, have noticed when we work with people with integrative medicine or complementary alternative practices or holistic practices. The basis of a lot of these holistic practices is allowing the body the time it takes to heal naturally. And in our quick fix society, we do not allow that to happen. But the body will fix itself when you allow it to have the time, when you are patient enough to love it, to stay in a relaxed place. It will work with your doctors. It will work with the medicine you are being given. It will work to heal to its optimal place. Then this third one we're going to talk about today is called, the third attitude is called the beginner's mind. This to me is the most fun of the attitudes because it's the ability to look at life as if every moment is new. If you've ever looked at a child, they're looking around at the world and they're learning so much from everything. When we stop judging everything and we're more patient, we can start looking around at a sensation in our body, let's say, rather than, oh, this is a terrible pain and I have it all the time and I'm never going to get any better. This is something my body's trying to tell me. I wonder what it's trying to tell me. Is it telling me that maybe I need to sit differently? Is it telling me that I haven't exercised enough or I've over-exercised? We need to start beginning to be aware of every one of our experiences as if it's the first time we've ever experienced it. And what are we learning from it? Look at life, look at what you're seeing around you with the awe of a child. Just like I kind of suggested when we did the raisin meditation, imagine the fact now you can take this raisin and you can bring it to your mouth without hitting your nose. Wow. I've been doing that for years without even being aware of it. Let's become aware of those things. Become grateful for those things. Take awe in those things. Children are fascinated by the simplest things. Take yourself out into your garden. Look at a flower. We had one of our clients in one of our early courses of mindfulness-based cancer survivorship come back to class so excited she had spent a half an hour with a rose. That half an hour spent with a rose was 30 minutes more that she had to enjoy life, to appreciate life, to find gratitude and the joy and beauty and love of life, rather than focusing on her cancer. Those are the kinds of things that a beginner's mind can bring to you. You can get pleasure in learning. Take pleasure in learning from little things. Start learning something that you didn't think you'd ever be able to learn. Become aware of those things about yourself that you want to learn. Children are sponges for new information. Be a sponge. We know now that you've got something you have to deal with. We know now that you may have a cancer, you may have a chronic illness, you may have something that you don't like to deal with. Find something else that you might want to be a beginner's mind about. It's amazing to be able to look at life, to look at those moments, to look at a tree differently, to look at the sun differently, to look at the sunset differently, to look at a child differently. To look at a child and truly experience that little child from all of your senses. What do they smell like? What do they look like? What are they learning? How are they learning? Live with the beginner's mind. Welcome all the new information as you heighten your awareness to each moment. Your survivorship journey is a new road for you. Each day can bring new learning. Each day can bring new challenges. And with those challenges, you are a beginner. One who can be open and receptive to new ideas. So as you have new challenges, allow yourself to be open and receptive to new possibilities. Maybe even the idea that, what is this challenge teaching you? What is this challenge bringing to you? What are you perhaps supposed to learn? Okay? Pay attention to learning from your own thoughts and feelings. What are you going to do with these attitudes now? I've given you 3. Judy's going to give you some more. But these 3 attitudes, how are you going to relate to this attitude? I suggest, you can do what you want, but I kind of would like to see you maybe take non-judgment for a day. Walk around with non-judgment in your forefront and say, be aware of how judging you are. And then flip that judgment to non-judgment and see what that does to your body. Does it make you more relaxed if you're non-judging? Is it hard? Because boy, we are certainly trained to be judging. How easy can I do this? How difficult is this for me? So you walk around with non-judgment for a day, then walk around with patience for a day. Again, when you walk around with patience and you see, boy, I'm not very patient, don't judge yourself for that. It's just the way I am. This is the way life unfolds. This is what's going on. I wasn't real patient in that situation, and okay, that's what it is. It is what it is, and it's okay. No judgment. How do you feel when you're aware of how you are judging yourself? Like I said, you don't have to be critical of yourself. You can take that non-judgment, switch it to non-judging, and relax with it. How does that feel in your body? So notice how you feel at the times that you view something from a patient place, an impatient place, from a new beginner's mind place, from your old way of thinking. Just start to be aware of how you walk with judgment, how you walk with patience, and how you walk as a new beginner with a beginner's mind as you process things, meditate, and see the world mindfully. Your awareness can free you from stressful thinking. So the more you become aware, the more you become aware of being non-judgmental, the more you become aware of patient, the more you become aware of how your beginner's mind can fill you with awe about the world. Be aware of how your stressful thinking ebbs and flows. And remember, through all of this, remember to breathe. We'll see you next time.